So for number 1, we have -6 plus 5. So we are starting in this problem with -6. I underline that, and I look at my number line, and I go to find where my -6 is. So now that we know where we're starting on the number line, we have to see what sort of operation we're doing in this mathematical problem. So, as we can see, we're adding. So because we're adding, we know that we're going to be moving towards the positive direction on the number line. And I'm going to write an arrow and a plus sign to illustrate that. And we're moving in a positive direction 5 times because it's -6 plus 5. So starting at my plotted point at -6 on the number line, I'm going to move 5 spaces to the right. And that's going to take me all the way to -1 on the number line. And that's how I can determine that -6 plus 5 equals -1. We have -3 plus 2. So again, we're going to look at the first number in this problem, which is -3. And then we're going to look at the number line and look for the -3 on the number line and plot a point there. And then we're going to see what operation we're performing in this problem. Are we adding or subtracting? Because that's going to decipher what direction we move in. Because we're adding, we're going to be moving to the right, and we're adding by 2, which means we're going to be moving to the right 2 times. So after moving to the right 2 times from my initial point, -3, I end up at -1. And so that's how we decide that -3 plus 2 is -1 using our number line. We have 5 minus -1. And I put -1 in parentheses to symbolize or like illustrate that that is one whole term, and that the negative sign right by the 1 is not a subtraction sign, it's a negative sign. And so -1 is one whole term together. Again, we are starting with 5, positive 5, so we're going to go to the positive side and plot our 5. And then our operation here is subtraction because it's 5 minus -1. But we have a rule. So whenever we are subtracting by a negative, that is the same thing as adding. And to help you, you can just create a plus sign with those two, with the minus sign and the negative sign and the parentheses or the one parenthesis like that. So now that we know that we're adding, we know that means we're moving in the positive direction, and we're moving in the positive direction 1 time, which brings us to 6. We have 4 minus 6. And once again, we're going to start with our first number in this problem. Reading left to right, we have 4. So we're going to go to the positive 4 on the number line and plot our point there. And we're subtracting, so which means we're moving in the negative direction, and we're moving in the negative direction 6 times. So starting at 4, we're going to move to the left 6 times, and that brings us to -2. And so 4 minus 6 is -2. So for number 5, we have -1 plus 1. So again, we're going to start at our -1, and because our operation is addition, we're moving in the positive direction, and we're moving in the positive direction 1 time. And so if we move our point 1 time to the right from -1, we end up at 0. And so 0 is our answer for number 5. -1 plus 1 equals 0. For number 6, we have 3 minus -2. When we subtract a negative, we're really just adding. But if we look at this, we know we're starting at 3, so positive 3. So we plot our point at positive 3. And then we have minus a negative, so we know we're just going to be adding, which means we're moving in the positive direction. We're moving in the positive direction 2 times. So that brings us to 5. We plot our final point at 5, and we get 3 minus negative 2 equals 5. And so that is how you add and subtract with negative numbers using a number line. Wait, before you leave, go ahead and check out these lessons up above. You can watch this lesson, or you can watch that one, or you can watch both. Oh, and while you're at it, please do me a huge favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can do so by clicking out of this video and hitting the subscribe button. Thank you so much. Bye.